Hey guys, we got a pretty special edition today. We're going to do an interview and talk about Springfield Extravaganza. You're not going to want to miss it. All right, good morning, everybody. I guess it's afternoon, probably some people. When
yeah, absolutely.
But we're sitting here. We want to talk about Springfield Extravaganza. And I'm sitting here with an important man when you talk about Springfield Extravaganza. So John Jenkins, welcome to the show. I appreciate you coming on.
Absolutely no problem. I'd love to talk about the show.
Yeah, absolutely. And not only Springfield, but also, if you want to, your new show in Palm Beach.
Yeah, I've just purchased the West Palm Beach Antiques Festival, which is a monthly show the first weekend of the month at the South Florida Fairgrounds. I also run the Nashville show in Nashville, Tennessee, which is once a year, February, usually around Valentine's Day.
So if you guys don't know Jenkins Management, you guys manage shows all over the country. And you oversee Springfield.
Yes.
All the Springfield shows, the antique shows and flea market in Springfield. And this coming weekend is like the I would say the mega event of all antiquing, Springfield Extravaganza. People all over the country talk about it. People fly in for it. How many dealers are you expecting to have at the show this year?
We're expecting somewhere in the neighborhood of 2,200.
Okay.
That's where we've been running. I think we're up a little bit over last year.
So 2,200 dealers, and where all do they come from?
We've got dealers from pretty much, I don't think we have any Alaskan dealers. I know we have Alaskan customers.
Okay.
But I would think pretty much every other state.
Almost every state in the United States. The dealers coming to sell antiques here in Springfield. Okay, now people are going to say, okay, where at in Springfield can this be held? So let's talk about that. Where's the location?
It's the Clark County Fairgrounds, which had its origins as an airport. So if you look over from above, it's very much two intersecting runways, all the connectors, and the buildings that are there originally started out as hangars for smaller airplanes.
Okay. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I've been living here my whole life and never knew that was an airport.
If you look at it from above, or even look at the show map, it's intersecting runways and connectors.
It makes perfect sense now that you've said it. I just never put it together.
Yeah, so cool. And we have a very unusual booth numbering system that makes no sense to anybody at all. But if you change the numbers, well, wait a minute, I've been in space 328 EX4 for 25 years. You can't change the number.
Change my number.
No.
That's fun. Okay, so dealers, you got 2,100 dealers or somewhere in there. How many customers do you think you're expecting this weekend?
We typically put in between 20 and 25,000 customers over the weekend. It's probably the largest single owner show. I know Canton, Texas claims to be larger, but they have a lot of flea market. There's a very small antique section relative to that, but we're probably 85% antiques and vintage and probably 15% flea market.
Right. So let's talk about some of the antiques that they're going to find at the show. I know you guys last year you put up the special tent for Premier Country.
Actually, what we did was we took a grouping of dealers who do my show in Nashville, Tennessee. We put up a walled and papered booth section in the youth building. It's in the youth building, not the tent.
Not the tent. Okay.
So you're going to see a lot more high-end and middle high-end merchandise in that section. It's always been at the show, but it's always been scattered in pieces here, a booth there. And this is really an opportunity to come to a place, see some nicer stuff, buy some nicer stuff. And there's great stuff all over the field. That's one of the truly amazing things about the show is it's one of the most buyable shows in the country.
Yes.
I mean, the stuff that's come out of here historically has filled collections, homes.
Yeah, and that's one of the greatest things I remember about the show. Even as a kid, going out there, you're seeing a lot of trading happening. It's not just trucks leaving full. People come. When I used to set up at the Springfield show, my goal was to sell out.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to sell. And I think a lot of people come with the mindset of, hey, we're here to sell stuff. We don't want to take it back with us. So
no, and a lot of our vendors don't do a lot of other shows. Certainly some of them do a bunch of shows. But there's a fairly significant group of vendors there that they buy for the Springfield Antique Show and Flea Market, and that's what they do.
And this is it. This weekend, this is the major show. Okay, so let's talk about show times this weekend. If I'm out here, I'm traveling in, when can I come to the show?
Okay, we have 4 different options. Okay, if you are a true pro, and by pro I mean you're a dealer, you're an ultra serious collector who wants to be there first thing, we have something called line buying. Okay.
Line buying. Okay.
Our vendors will pull in and line up starting Wednesday evening, but most of the day on Thursday. They'll line up in a huge field and they'll raise the back of their trucks, and they'll put out a table. They'll put out a table of smalls. They'll put out a couple pieces of furniture. But this is where people are truly getting the first pick. Okay, and there's a pack that forms. So when a pack of buyers forms. So when a new truck pulls in, it opens up. They're all standing there. Like, what do you know? It's frenetic. It's not for everyone. So if you're not the person who needs to be there first, and you're really seeing such a small percentage of what's there.
Even the people that have it, when they open the truck, they can't get everything
No,
out.
no.
It's just a few items on the end.
It's just a few items on the end, and typically they're thinking when they're loading their trucks, hey, wait a minute, what are those 3 or 4 things that I could sell in line?
Yeah.
So, there's excitement, there's buzz, it's energetic and fun. But if you're not the type of person who wants to walk around and look in the back of trucks and, with flashlights, it's not for you. Now, our next option is our traditional early bird buying, which is pretty much from dawn on Friday morning to noon. And that's $20, and that includes readmission for all 3 days of the show.
So $20, I show up on Friday morning, I spend $20, I can get in all weekend.
You can get in all weekend. And it takes all, if you truly want to shop the show and truly want to look in every booth and be it takes the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, you're 2,000 plus dealers.
Yeah, I mean, if you walked in every booth for 30 seconds, I can't do the math, but it's it's a couple days. Yeah, I mean, it's easily a couple days. At noon on Friday, we go to our general admission, and this is a daily admission ticket.
Okay.
The daily admission ticket is $12.
Okay.
So that's noon to 6 on Friday, 8 to 5 on Saturday, and 9 to 4 on Sunday.
So there again, my wife and I are deciding we want to take a little trip. We're not serious here, but we'd like to go have some fun, pick up some things, spend a day there, get some good food. $12 each. $12 whichever day you want. After Friday.
It's less than a movie.
Less than a movie.
Yeah, it's less than a movie. It's a great value. I mean, the food's amazing.
Food's amazing. You guys got great food trucks.
We really take a lot of pride in our food vendors and are pretty selective. A couple of personal favorites of mine are Schmidt's from Columbus, obviously famous for their sausage and their cream puffs. We have an Amish pretzel vendor who makes the most amazing pretzels by hand. They're hand wrapping them, or hand twisting them, baking them, coming out of the oven. I'm not a pretzel person, but they are incredible.
That's fun.
Yeah, they also we also have a new smash burger vendor.
Smash burger vendor.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
That sounds good.
Yeah, we're excited about that. But no, there's great food all over the field, and it's a point of pride for us that, hey, not only are you coming, this isn't typical flea market food where you go and you're getting a bad hot dog and
right.
Right.
Well, so something really interesting about the Jenkins family is you guys have been in the show business now for generations.
Yes.
Okay. So how long? When did it start? Take us back.
Apparently, my dad and mom had a rental property before I was born. So I'm 53, so this is probably going back 56, 57 years ago. He found some bottles in the basement of a rental property and said, these might be worth something. So that's how he caught the bug. Now, I came along in 1970, and at the age of 3, I set up my first booth.
That's awesome.
At a flea market next to my dad. I sold $19, and I bought the Christmas tree that year.
Nice.
I ran my first show. I was 24. Went to college, got out of college, started working with Dad immediately.
Yeah.
I ran my first show in Nashville at 24 with Kay Puckstein, who I just purchased the West Palm Beach show from. So, this isn't it's not a job, it's more of a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle.
Yeah. It's a lifestyle. And I have been doing that ever since.
Nice. So what kind of things do you like to collect yourself?
Folk art, signs, Indiana, things that have an Indiana backstory. That's where I live. Just very eclectic. Very eclectic. Yeah. I mean,
what's your favorite piece you got?
Right now, my favorite piece that I have is certainly isn't the most expensive piece, but it's like the coolest thing for me. Remember how, and they still do it, but like a high school basketball team or somebody will go around town, they'll print the schedule on it, they'll sell advertising on it.
Yep.
Well, I have one that I bought at an auction. Okay, and it was the right piece in the wrong auction. We all know that story.
Okay, I've been there, done that.
The right piece, wrong auction. It was in a country and primitive auction, and I may be wrong. I think it was 1954. The Milan Indian basketball team.
Milan
Indian basketball.
Is that an
team.
Indiana team?
It's an Indiana team that famously won the state championship, an enrollment of about 125 people, that later became the movie Hoosiers.
Oh, well, that's cool. Okay.
Yeah, so I have the original schedule. All the scores are written in pencil for the season.
Oh, wow.
And it's all signed by the players.
Now, that is a great piece.
Yeah, no, I mean,
That's phenomenal.
I would not take ridiculous money for it, okay?
It's not for sale.
No, not for sale. And Indiana people know the Milan story, and everybody else knows it because they adapted it and made the movie Hoosiers. So even to the point that the game-winning shot in the state championship was mimicked in the movie. It was the same shot, same place, same... Yeah, everything was the same about it. So I bought that at an auction where nobody really had any appreciation for it. I think I paid $60 for it.
$60.
Yeah. That's my favorite thing.
And you wouldn't double your money right now for any means. Triple, quadruple, 10 times your money.
If somebody offered me $2,500 for it, I wouldn't sell it.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
It's just such a quintessential piece of Indiana history, Indiana sports history, and it's not going anywhere.
So let's talk a little bit more about the show as far as if you're out there. A lot of people think, you can't go to shows or antique stores because there's never good buys at them.
Oh no,
let's talk about that for a minute. Okay, 'cause I know better.
Yeah, no, you know better. I know better than that. Here's my favorite story about Springfield. We just purchased the show from Bruce and Vivian Knight, and it was May of 2000. It's our first extravaganza. I'm riding down one of the runways in a golf cart. Show's busy. Just sort of like going to whatever I had to do next. And I slam on the golf cart brakes. I'm like, that can't be what it looks like. So I get out, I walk into the booth, and I'm looking at a Tiger Maple bonnet top highboy.
Oh, wow.
Okay. For those of you uninitiated, it's a tall piece of bedroom furniture on high legs, which is why they call it a highboy. And it has this ornate top piece called a bonnet top. So this is something you'd see at a high-end show on the East Coast, indoors with walls and paper and lights, and this is a nice piece of furniture. But it's out in the middle of a field in Ohio. So immediately doubt creeps in, like, wait a minute, what's going on here? So I start examining it. You feel the legs, you pull the drawers, you look at the bonnet, and it's right. Okay, it needs work. It needs a couple $1,000s in work to get it to that condition where you'd see it in that high-end show. And I asked the vendor, I said, how much? He goes, I want $5,000 for it. I said, okay. Well, we had just made a major purchase of a massive antique show, so I wasn't exactly sitting on an extra $5,000 at that point, but I knew it needed to get bought. Okay, so I had a cell phone then that had it for. And I picked up the phone, called the dealer. He came over, and he looked at it for a minute or two. He bought it. He then called another dealer, looked it over for a minute or two, and then he bought it. Okay, so you have dealer A happy, dealer B happy, dealer C was the guy who could do the cabinet work and get it to that higher end show.
Yeah.
So everybody's happy except me because I didn't get it. Nobody cut me in on the deal.
He didn't get it.
Yeah, but. So this all happened in probably in under 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So, and at the time, tuned up, that was a $30,000 piece of furniture.
Wow.
Okay, so as I walk back to the golf cart and I start driving away, I instinctively look over to the next booth, and the next booth had gourmet mustard.
Gourmet mustard,
which was delicious. Don't get me wrong, but that's the range of stuff that you can find at a show.
That's fun. Well, one of my favorite pickups ever. I didn't buy it. A friend of mine bought it in front of me. It was a Charger. It was a Meissen Charger, and it had a hairline crack in it. And he bought it for like $50, and I gave him $100. And I thought, yeah, that's cool. I put it in the back seat of my car, and I was driving home, and I had to slam my brakes on it. It slid off the seat and then broke completely in half. Okay, so I spent $100 on a broken bladder.
Yeah.
I put it in my shelf at home for about 2 years because I was upset at myself for breaking it. So I finally get enough nerve, and I think, I'm going to throw that in my auction. I throw it in the auction, and it brings, I think, $3,500 in 2 pieces.
In 2 pieces.
In 2 pieces.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
that was from Springfield.
Yeah. Another story that happened, or that I remember, that just encapsulates the entire business in about 2 minutes. I'm driving in my SUV through to the back part of the show, passing dealers. It's not super crowded yet. And I see this oversized baseball. Okay, it's fiberglass baseball, probably 36 inches.
Yep.
And I said, hey, how much? And he goes, I said, where'd it come from? He said, it came from minor league baseball stadium. It was the foul pole. It stood on top of the foul pole. It was a marker. I said, okay, how much? He goes, I want $100 for it. I said, okay, yeah, because I always had a thing for oversized stuff, and I like sports stuff too. So it barely fit in the back of my SUV. I put it in there, and I closed the door, and I started driving around. I went, crap, I don't need that. My wife's not going to let me put it in the house. I need to get rid of it.
I got to sell this.
So I pulled up to a dealer. The windows were tinted on the SUV. It was somebody I knew pretty well. I said, give me $200. And he goes, okay. So it's somebody I knew pretty well. He hands me $200. I go, I open the back, I give it the baseball, I give it to him, and I drive away. But you see something, you fall in love with it, you go realize, oh, I don't really need this, I better sell it. You sell it. That's the entire business in 2 minutes.
Yeah, it happens that way, doesn't it? So guys, listen, if you're coming into Springfield this weekend, we want to invite you to come to Springfield, Ohio. Experience the Extravaganza. Come by the heart of Ohio.
Absolutely.
We've got 1,000 booths and showcases here. They've got 2,100 at the Extravaganza. That's over 3,000 vendors. Plus, there's another antique mall across the street with another 400 or 500 dealers. I don't know how many are there.
Yeah.
So you're looking at 3,500 plus dealers in one 6-mile radius.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to toot his horn a little bit. This is the best antique mall in the country. It's incredibly well run. Merchandise wise, it's always changing. You know, one of the problems with a lot of malls is you go there once and you come back and it looks the same.
Yeah.
You know, he's got active dealers. He's got dealers from all over the country. This is the best antique mall in the United States.
Yeah, this place is off the charts, and we both bought our businesses off the same guy.
Yeah.
So it kind of fits that we're back here talking about this stuff together, right?
Yeah. No, he kind of did a couple really good things, and we were both fortunate to be the people that he entrusted that to, and that's a great honor. I mean, you don't really own a show; you are responsible for a show. And
that's the way we see it here. You know, we've got this antique mall with 1,000 booths and showcases. There's over 700 vendors, and we're responsible to not wreck this ship, right?
No,
let's keep it moving,
absolutely.
keep it excitement.
That was really hard for us when we first bought the show. Is don't mess it up, don't mess it up, don't mess it up. But what you find out is Bruce picked us because he trusted that we would do the right thing.
Yeah.
And it took about 10 years and to finally realize, hey, wait a minute, this is a business, it's changing, we need to make changes. And I think since we had that realization, I mean, I think we've seen improvement in the show.
Yeah.
I went back, and you know, one of the things in the business that people always talk about is, the good old days, okay? And I went back and over 20 years and looked at numbers. The attendance wasn't better. More people attend now. The dealer count's higher now than it was then.
Yeah.
This is the good old days.
We're actually in that. I believe this wholeheartedly. There's a move in our industry right now that I haven't seen since the 80s.
Yeah.
There's so many people just getting in this business.
Yeah.
We have a high schooler that has a booth here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's lots of 20-year-olds coming in here. This is a reviving business.
Yeah, and I mean, especially when you start talking things about vintage clothing, vintage fashion, that isn't inaccessible. It's a lot of it's at an accessible price point for young people.
Sure.
And that's important. One of the things I firmly believe, and I'm sure you'll agree, if you get a customer in here, or I get a customer to come to the show for the first time, there better be something that they can afford. They like it, to take it home. Otherwise, they're going to go, I went to that once, I don't want to go back.
Yeah.
So you're going to see affordability. You know, you're going to see unique things. We put in a vintage clothing barn.
Yeah.
You know, specifically to attract younger customers, because any show or any business in our industry that isn't almost borderline obsessed about getting new customers is slowly dying.
Yeah.
I mean, because every day you wake up, your customers are a day older. You need to focus on
what's the next generation interested in. How do we provide it? That's
yeah.
So you know what I mean. Like that's the question I ask myself all the time: is the next buyer, the new buyers coming into the market, what are they like? What are they going to like in 5 years? How do we start shaping our business now for what's coming?
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
Look forward. You can't look
backwards. No, and
yeah.
and that's always been a challenge because our business, we're looking backwards at the merchandise because it's old.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the essence of what we're doing, but we have to look forward and market and position ourselves to have stuff that the next generation of customers
So you've got a really good insight. So you manage shows all over the country. Talk a little bit about the market trends that change and what you've seen in your lifetime of doing this. That'd be an interesting topic.
I would say that my dad started out as a dealer, and it's very different being a dealer in the Midwest than it is in other parts of the country. In the Midwest, you have to buy what you can find. It's very difficult to specialize in a way you could in New England, or you literally are. And I lived in Indiana, which was obviously settled later than Ohio. There's more material here
in Ohio than Indiana.
So the further west you go, you have to be more of a jack of all trades.
Yes.
Material-wise, and the material that he started out with, country and Americana, when he could find it, is still popular, but it's aged a little bit just from the standpoint of a lot of the collectors, a lot of the dealers are now older, and they haven't replaced themselves with younger dealers because the merchandise is relatively expensive. Mm-hmm. And it's difficult for younger customers and younger dealers to come in when stuff's expensive. Now prices have come down. There's bargains.
So cheap.
Hey, how many slam front desks do you have right now?
Exactly.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, no, but they're nice and they're cheap and they're great. Nice
great investments.
Yeah, nice pieces.
Good time to buy them.
Yeah. I mean, so that trend and what I see now is when I look at shows like Texas and Atlanta and High Point, a lot more focus on decorative objects that are old, but they're decorative and functional, as opposed to collector-driven business.
Yeah. Well, I noticed that exact same thing with our auction business as well. Not only here in the Antique Center, but the auction. It doesn't have to be pure. It doesn't have to be period. It has to be functional, and it has to look good.
Yep, absolutely.
It's changed the dynamics of our business.
Oh, absolutely. No, absolutely. It's changed the dynamics of shows, what shows look like. It's changed how I recruit for shows. It's been. I mean, it's changed significantly in the last 15 years.
Yeah. What do you think the next great thing's going to be?
Well,
which category?
I was going to illustrate that last point with something. When I was a kid growing up, you'd go to a show, like a nice show, and a good dealer was somebody who had an amazing booth full of merchandise, okay? And set up like a gallery, and you look, and wow, oh, that's a great pie safe, and look at that great quilt, and oh, that corner cover's beautiful, and they've got a couple weather vanes, and oh, it's set up so nicely. Now, that has changed. That's still great merchandise. However, what my definition of a great dealer at a show is somebody who comes in, has stuff that customers want to buy, they buy it, he makes money, she makes money, the customers are happy, and the promoter's happy because they've got happy dealers and happy customers.
Yeah.
That's now the definition of a good dealer. It's not somebody sitting there with stuff that everybody walks by and goes, wow. It's the dealer who almost sells out and, sings the praises of the show and tells other dealers. I mean, that's been a pretty dramatic shift in mindset, I think. And I think a lot of people have realized that now. Yeah,
that's awesome. I remember doing the Nashville show, when you guys were running the Nashville show, I'd go down there with Bruce and, I'd set up with my own truck, whatever, and my goal was to sell out. I wanted to sell it every time I went somewhere.
I'm very, very, very lucky. My shows are really good.
Yeah.
I like them. I like running them. But over the years, we've run shows in different places, a lot of different states. But the ones that I've got now, Nashville is 36 years old. Springfield, I think, is 53 years old. West Palm Beach is 24, 40 years old, 42 years old.
Yeah.
Or no, 32. It's hard. It's like kids. It's like,
they're all little kids now.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I'm very blessed to have those shows as my shows.
Yeah.
Because there's not every,
Well, and you know, it speaks a lot in you guys' management to be able to keep the customers coming in. You're looking forward. You're being proactive. You know, when I first bought the Antique Center, you said, "Hey, Jacob, you got to look at social media."
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Great job on this. Yeah.
You know, you're like, you can't operate a business in today's world, in this industry, without using social media.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys have been on the forefront of all of these things constantly.
We were sort of early adopters, and in the earlier days of Facebook, when we got on, business pages would just explode. I mean, I had a friend with a couple 100,000 likes and follows for her vintage business. It was easy event pages for Facebook. You'd have 5,000 people RSVP to an event. Of course, the algorithms change, and it's gone to more of a paid model. But if you want to illustrate the importance of social media in a way that will help people understand a lesson I learned, and it's helped our shows dramatically. We had a show during COVID in Nashville in 2021. And because we were the convention center, but we had to guarantee that there would be no more than 750 people in the room at one time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we had to come up with a system to do that. So we came up with a time-slotted ticket system. You weren't buying a ticket to a show for the day, you were buying a ticket for 2 hours, 3 hours, or 4 hours. That way we could control inventory and know, hey, you know, and the facility was counting.
Right.
Yeah, they were counting people in, counting people out. The difference between the two counters was how many people were in the building. So we do this, and because we did this, everybody had to buy their tickets online, and everybody had to tell me where they heard about the show and what made them buy a ticket. So I had a series of new dealers that show because another show in Nashville had canceled, and we were using their facility. So I had 50 or 60 new, very high-end dealers, beautiful stuff. And the message I got from them was, John, you're really going to have to do some additional advertising because you don't have our show's email list, and we don't have it either. We need to get in touch with our customers. So I bit the bullet. I knew I needed to do the advertising. I bought TV, radio, billboards, the newspaper, and I bought almost a $5,000 ad in the glossy monthly publication for Nashville that all the right people were supposed to read. So at the end of the show, I download the spreadsheet and I find out how much it costs to sell a ticket based on which advertising medium. The glossy magazine, it cost me $900 a ticket.
Wow.
The full page ad in the Sunday paper, it cost me $125 a ticket. TV and radio were somewhere around $200 to $300 a ticket. The only thing that makes sense in 2024 are customer emails, Facebook, Instagram, and postcards. In 2022, I said, I'm done. I'll still run a few trade paper ads to communicate with vendors and serious collectors, but everything else is Facebook and Instagram. Since 2022, which was the first year I did it, through 2024, my attendance is up 77%.
Up 77%.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
In 3 years, yeah. And it just reinforces where our new customers are finding out about us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
and when dealers talk to me about advertising other places, I'm like, look, I'm spending your money on advertising. It's not my money, it's your money.
Yep.
In any place else other than Facebook and Instagram, I'm wasting your money.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, you let us, when we first bought this, you sat down with me and we looked at all your analytics and you convinced me we had to do this. And we found the same thing, experimenting with different social media platforms. Now we're on our YouTube as well.
Yeah, you've had a great
Instagram,
response on YouTube.
Great response on YouTube. We went to 12,000 subscribers in 5 months or less, four months.
That's impressive.
Yeah, it's been pretty profound. And these guys, they're watching. They're the reasons that we're here. And our Facebook is really doing extremely well. Social media advertising in this industry, though, you guys are definitely you're hitting home runs. I watch your Facebooks and these shorts you guys do.
Yeah, no. Lisa is my social media manager, and she's awesome. Lisa, you're awesome. Keep doing your
She
great.
for hire. Can I get her?
No. Notice I didn't say her last name.
I know. I noticed that. Lisa, listen. If you quit working for him, come over here. We got space.
No, I just she's doing my stuff in Florida now, so she gets to go to Florida a couple times a year now.
You won't get her. Well, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this today. Again, Springfield Extravaganza this weekend. What is the dates for this weekend?
15th, 16th, 17th. It is 7 to 5 on Friday, 8 to 5, or 7 to 6 on Friday, 8 to 5 on Saturday, 9 to 4 on Sunday. Clark County Fairgrounds, exit 59 off I-70. Just get in line behind the rest of the traffic, hopefully.
And think about that. 3 miles. Exit 59 or exit 62.
Yeah,
Same
definitely
road.
come check out Heart of Ohio. I didn't bring my wallet on purpose. Yes.
Hey, well, that's all right. I can put it to the side for you. I know where to find you.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for having me today.
Hey,
Appreciate
thank
it.
you. We sure appreciate you coming out. And guys, come and spend the weekend with us. We'd love to see you.
Yeah,
Have a blessed
thanks.
day.